Hello, I'm Bree Wild, and this is Marquee Memories. Here we sit down with some of your favorite artists and chat about their top concert memories as fans. Today's guests have been making music together for more than 20 years. They are happily married, put out 5 albums, produced 3 children, and touring is a family affair. The latest tour is promoting their newest album, When the War is Over. Amanda and Abner from Johnnyswim. Welcome.
Yay.
That's us. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yo, 20 years is not a short amount of time.
We were 5, so
We
it's
were
cool.
so young. It's so nice to be in our 20s now, late 20s.
It's so nice to
We
be
don't wanna lie about it.
born making music.
Right.
So
Yes,
nice.
exactly.
Exactly right.
I know that what we put on socials is just like the highlight reel.
Yeah.
But you guys seem to have like a really exquisite balance of like work, family, life, music.
Oh,
Is it real?
that is really sweet. I hope so.
I do think it is, because I think we would probably implode. Something would implode if we didn't have balance. And he always says that balancing our life is not really balance. It's like making a gumbo. So I guess flavor-wise, it is a balance.
Yeah.
But you kind of just keep tasting things that, there's times where, the kids are, when we're on tour and the kids are at home and in school and they're like, we really miss you. And we're like, all right, well, then you're coming. We just change plans so that they come with us. And
Or they're like, I really miss my friends. And all right, go home. Like, get out of here.
Literally,
but
yeah.
There's not a lot of hard and fast rules. We love our family. We love being around our kids. We try not to be away from them for too long. And so it's kind of, all that stuff comes naturally. And so let's just pack up, go, and figure it out as we go. And it's been working for 20 years.
Yeah. You mentioned that your latest album, in a few interviews you said it was your most personal. You guys are probably really good at like spilling your guts on stage, but is it harder to do the most personal stuff?
For me, it really was. I had an experience with this album that I've never had in putting out music, which was, we had a song that we wrote about my time dealing with a chronic illness. And at the time when we wrote it, we didn't know what was going on. We just knew I was in bed all the time and I was sick all the time. And I was like going to doctors all the time and nobody could figure it out. Right around that part, we wrote this song. And it was obviously very personal. And then the night before the song came out, I go into this public bathroom and I just sat there and cried for like a solid 20 minutes. And then the day it came out, I was getting all these texts and I cried the whole day. Like, he had to be like, you have to stop.
We said it's our most personal album yet, and it sounds like something a band would say about their album, right? It just sounds kind of whatever. It doesn't say it enough for me. I think it's better said that it's easier to write about songs or release songs that are about the past or the future. Hopeful songs about what one day we will have or one day we will achieve, sure. That's still personal, like our goals and all that. The things we've gone through, death and loss and all that, that's personal, but it's in the past. It's just harder to release songs that are about right now. It's much harder. And so, yes, it's our most personal album, but it's our most uncomfortable album. It's our most, there's no varnish on these songs, on these stories, on these words. It is just raw and right there. And it's just easier to say it's our most personal album, but we mean all that stuff.
I get it. No, yeah, it's hard to write when you're in the thick of it. You're like, what if my mind changed? What if something changes? What if this is not true later? But
what if I'm embarrassed that I said this? I've never felt that way in a song before, and I feel that throughout this album.
yeah. Well, you guys crafted sort of a unique experience for your live shows. Like, how do you decide what a group of songs needs? Like set list and setting wise.
This last tour, or I guess this current tour, because we're still on it, our music director actually was the one who said, hey, what if we split up the album? So
Jonathan Grant Berlin, by the way.
Jonathan Grant Berlin.
He
said, what if we split up the album and do, play the first half of the album top of set, then do a bunch of old songs, legacy songs in the middle, and then close out with the bottom half of the album, because we really wrote, and Abner produces songs to really kind of go into one another in a specific way. And he was like, I don't want to mess with that. Let's just do it a different way. And it just felt right. Like, as soon as we looked at the set list, there was no going, oh, well, I don't know, but maybe move this or maybe move that. We there were some songs in the middle that we moved around, but for the most part, we were like, yeah, done. And we've never done that
Never
before.
done that. And we've never played every song off of an album on that tour. Like, there's always a couple that maybe haven't worked live as well, or maybe that's just for you in your room to listen to or on a drive. We've never played a whole album top to bottom, but we did on this tour. And we've for years had like either a Pinterest page or just an ongoing Instagram saved folders where things move us visually on stage. And they don't have to be super expensive. They don't have to be these massive ideas. Oftentimes it's the opposite. Often it's like a conversation. It's not some massive idea. It's just the right words at the right time that move you. You know what I mean? And so we went back to some of those things that have moved us. The use of lights, a show that we'll talk about that radically kind of changed the way we perceive live performance. Truly radically changed how we see live performance, our own and other people's. One of the big things was the use of light, and it wasn't some big expensive light or some overwhelming thing. It was the nuance, the story that even just the light would tell. So we tried to implement things that we loved, that we felt when we see other people perform into our own show. And I'm really proud of the live show we got going right now. I think you feel it, not just the music, but the visual is felt.
So that was a good segue into starting these stories. Can you give us the first one, Feist?
Feist Shrine Auditorium right here in Los Angeles, 2022.
I think the greatest show I've ever seen.
Yeah?
I'll say number one.
Number one.
Number one concert I've ever been to was Feist at the Shrine.
So we get our tickets, Shrine Auditorium, but when we were choosing our seats, it wasn't auditorium seating. It was like in the round.
So we're like, Shrine's like, what, 3,000 seats or something like that? So you imagine you're going to go see Feist at Shrine with 3,000 of your favorite people in Los Angeles. It's going to be a party. It's going to be busy. From the beginning, things were weird.
Right. Things were just, not weird, just, it was like, okay, I don't understand where the setup is, but we have seats and there's only about 150 people and we're going to see her. So we get there and they're like, oh, it's not the main box office. You got to go around the building. It's a different space. And we're like, oh, that makes sense. It's the pandemic, tail end of the pandemic. Everyone's still wearing masks. It's a different, smaller space. That makes sense. So we go in and it's just like a dark room, like, black curtains around.
You're walking through road cases.
Yeah, you're walking through road cases and it's in the, it's like I said, she's in the round. And she starts playing an album that nobody's heard because I don't think she had even released it yet, right? So it's all completely new songs. Everybody's, watching her. Other musicians, it's just her in the middle. And then other musicians kind of like will show up and just sit in the seats like next to us, next to people and play along. While she's going, there's somebody with like I think it was an iPhone.
It was an iPhone, yeah.
Just taking video of like, somebody rubbing their partner's arm or like,
And it's being projected
and it's being projected around the walls. And so everybody feels this like sense of intimacy that was really, really missing in that time, right?
She printed out set lists at this massive old school printer, with the rivets still on it. Makes this crazy sound. She printed out set lists, and she herself, while the lights are still up before the show starts, hands out the set list to everybody. And it's just the order of the album. Right. And then one song about halfway through the show, were you going to tell this part? The printer starts printing again, and she uses it as percussion. On purpose, I'd imagine, but it was the percussion to the song was now the printer that she had handed you the set list from.
But I think what I was saying was that because it was at the tail end of the pandemic and just going to a show, I think for probably the majority of the people there, it was the first concert experience after being so isolated. So even just seeing like, small snippets on, being projected around of people just being together was like incredibly moving. So we're all there. Everybody's already like completely in it. We just feel like the luckiest people in the world to be like sitting there watching her play. And it was so simple, but just so well done. It was also 18-point surround sound, right? Or did I make that up? No. So you're hearing, while she's playing things like
the
different
speakers
things are going
instead of in front
around.
of you.
Yeah. So you're hearing things like all around your head and you're just really, really like enveloped in sound throughout the whole night. Then at some point she, plays a song and it's kind of a more like up-tempo, intense song, and she walks off and you're just like, we're already crying. We're already like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever been to. And she pulls on this cable.
And the same camera that was showing the hands touching is now zoomed in close on her hand, and this guy just following her with an iPhone.
Right.
On a thing. And it's showing her grab the rope and
she
pull on it.
pulls
And it feels
it.
visceral and cool. I don't know what's happening. It's a hand grabbing a rope. It's projected. She's also across the room.
And all of a sudden, she pulls the rope and this curtain flies up and you realize that you're on stage at the shrine and you're looking out at a completely empty shrine auditorium with the chandelier just dimly lit and fog rolling through. And she walks off, just her and a guitar, and she walks to the center of the shrine auditorium just playing. Just her. And everybody, when I tell you everybody was weeping, like I have video footage of this moment and you just hear like all you hear is people weeping because again, it's the end of the pandemic and you're just looking at emptiness at the same time, and you're feeling it viscerally, And then she walks up to the front of the stage, sings one last song, and then ran off into the Shrine Auditorium, and the show was over.
She waved and walked out of the back of the room where you would walk in to see a show, like the complete backwards thing. And what was interesting for me is it was mid-tour for us. We'd just done a long run. We'd been on the road for a month. We were home for 2 days. We're about to be gone for another month or so. And when I was on stage, that tour specifically, and it happens all the time to probably all of us, I can see the empty seats. If we were playing Shrine, oh, it's packed. These people are. That's great. That's great. I wonder why we couldn't sell those 200 seats up there. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if they just didn't show up. Whatever. It could be 99% full, but I'm seeing only the empty seats, and I try to beat that. I try not to compare that. I try not to let that eat at me, but it does. And then for the curtains to open and for me to have already been witnessing the greatest concert I've probably ever seen, and then the curtains open and there's nobody there. Every seat was empty, hit me in a different way. Like, why does it matter? Why does it matter if there's a few empty seats? Here's 3,000 empty seats. And you just saw the greatest thing you've been a part of, you know? And it was a lot of, I mean, I could cry now thinking about it. It was really emotive. It was bigger than the music. Again, we didn't know one song. We're Feist fans. She hadn't released these songs yet. Didn't know one song that she was playing, couldn't sing along to anything, but never felt more communal or connected, to a performance.
That's
it was
incredible.
absolutely...
Did she end up putting out the album later?
Yes, I believe so. It's called Multitudes.
Okay. How did you find out about this event?
We just love Feist. And she's like, Feist is coming. We have 2 days off. She's playing Shrine. Let's get tickets. And the tickets were like exorbitant. They were like expensive. And so, we support. We're going to buy tickets. We're going to whatever. But I remember this one. I'm hitting our agent like, yo, can you get us tickets to this? And I think we still had to buy them.
I had seen online that she was playing shows, and then I had seen somebody tagged her in a post, and she reposted it. And it didn't give away the finale of being on a stage, but just seeing the setup, I was like, oh, this is different, and this is one that I need to see. Because we've seen her several times in various
We played
settings.
shows with her. And one of our favorite, I mean, this isn't on the list, but one of my favorite shows I've ever seen was we opened for Feist in Rhode Island?
New Hampshire.
Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And we were playing this theater. It might have been a festival. We were playing this theater in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. We soundchecked before her, right? We were playing duo, and she was playing solo. So we get up, we soundcheck, we get down, we put our stuff away. You see Feist walk on the stage to soundcheck. It's just her sound tech, and people that work at the theater. There's like 10 people in the room, 2,000 seats. Me and Amanda walk out to the middle of the room. We sit, and we watch her soundcheck. And she just sings through a few songs. And it was magic. So we're huge fans. Yeah. That was one of my favorite shows I've ever seen,
that's
too.
True, honestly.
Was Soundcheck at Portsmouth, New Hampshire in 2017, probably. Like just a long, long time ago.
Yeah, maybe even before that. I don't even know if we had kids.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So like 2015?
Yeah.
Oh,
when did you guys become fans of Feist? How were you
Sesame Street. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, no, so long ago. I don't remember exactly. There's a really great record store in Nashville called Grimey's. And I think I just picked up her, back in the day when you would go and just see new releases, and you just
That's
on
another
Tuesday.
favorite show.
Yeah, and she played a live event there for Let It Die, which I don't know if that was her first album or I don't know which album, but that was the album that I
Broken Social Scene was like all her first stuff.
But Let It Die had come out, and so she did a thing in the record store, and it was a tiny little room, and I remember she had a guy playing the trumpet, and it was packed, and everybody just sitting on the floor watching her.
If she's watching this, she's feeling so good right now.
But that was actually one of our favorite experiences too. So we've just been following along and obsessed for a long time.
Did her sort of like bravery with playing this brand new album nobody'd ever heard, did that give you maybe a little more confidence about playing unreleased songs yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My second favorite show I've ever seen in my life.
David Byrne.
Yeah.
What are the details on that?
David Byrne, BJCC, Birmingham, Alabama, 2018. I wanted to hear like Psycho Killer. And what's funny is we had an off day in Birmingham that day. And so everybody's looking up what shows are cool. Father John Misty was playing at Iron City, which is a cool, great little club in Birmingham. And David Byrne was playing at the Symphony Hall. What is it?
The SB.
What's it called? Do you have it there?
BJCC?
BJCC, like
I was so
a
close.
concert hall or something.
Yeah.
Like a theater. And so half the band went to go see Father John Misty, and half the band went to go see David Byrne. You walk in and there's like bird sounds playing, literally, like nature sounds, which we tried to copy one time. We did a whole tour where all the intro music was just nature sounds. And there was a time when Twitter was like the main form of social media communication. And everybody's like, what the hell is Johnnyswim doing? All I'm hearing, is this for real? Did they make a mistake? Like, it's just bird sounds. Like, this isn't cool. What are you doing? Like, people were just complaining the whole time. I thought it was cool. And then David Byrne played no songs that I knew. He played his whole new album at the time, American Utopia. He closed with the old Talking Heads song, Burning Down the House. But the rest of it was just American Utopia. Didn't know one song, and it was the same sort of feeling. And I'll talk through that show as well. But yeah, that confidence that, man, we are all viscerally connected to this art form, not simply because of its familiarity. There's something for it. You watch movies that you love because you love them, right? And you know how you're going to feel, you know what it's going to do to you. But you watch new movies, oftentimes for the opposite. You don't know what it's going to do. You don't know the journey you're going to go on just yet. Sure, it's a movie, or sure, it's an album. There's typical notes it might hit, and you know the artist, you trust the person creating this thing. But you go for something new, and there was something that in that show, the David Byrne show, and in this Feist show, that I'd never really experienced as a fan and have absolutely, at the time, never experienced as an artist. All new music, a whole new journey. I just trust you to take me with you. And we still haven't done it to that extent.
I think, there was also the aspect of they're not just standing in front of you just playing their songs. Like there was a sense of they're bringing you into something. And it actually, the David Byrne specifically, after that show, we started talking about writing musicals because we were like, how do we do this differently? Like, we're on tour all the time and we're always thinking of like, okay, if you've already been to a Johnnyswim show this year, and you're going to go spend money on a ticket again, what do you want to hear? What do you want to see? Is it different songs? Is it presented in a different way? And we literally are now writing a musical
It opens
because
March 11th in Edinburgh, Scotland, our first musical. It's called One Day. Yeah.
And it was really
You heard it here
because
first.
we, these experiences let us feel connected to music in new ways. And I feel like after, especially if you love music and you go to concerts all the time, being able to experience live music in a new way felt really, really refreshing. And it felt viscerally connecting. I don't know how else to describe it.
The David Byrne show was the first time I'd ever seen something like that. I think they had the same creative director. I don't know the facts on this, but I know there was some common threads between American Utopia Tour and the Feist show that we saw. But to see that show with no band on stage, the drums, are you familiar with I don't know if everybody's familiar with this or not, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. There's no drummer, right? So a drummer, typically, if you count every instrument, they're playing like 12 things, 20 things sometimes, depending on the band. Carter Beauford plays like 100 things, right? There's cymbals and toms and stuff everywhere. David Byrne broke up the drum set into all its individual parts, and one person was responsible for the thing. So there's one snare drum player, one hi-hat player, one tom player, floor tom, kick drum, cymbals, and they would wear the instrument. And there was no stage setting. You walked in, and it was a blank stage. Well, there was a desk with a skull on it. Is that what it was? Yeah. And then there was just chain on the back three walls, the three walls of the stage, so that people could. It looked like a wall, but it was really narrow chains pressed together, right? So people could walk through them. It would just essentially appear on stage, and otherwise the stage was perfectly clean, and you'd see a whole groove happening, being played instead of by one person, being played by 7, and Dave just walking around the stage singing and kind of performing in this really unique to him but incredibly honest way where it felt like a play. It felt like more than just a show. It felt like more than just him offering some songs. I think that's where the difference is, right, with these two shows in particular. It didn't feel like an offering of songs. It didn't feel like, here am I, giving you a song, which is often enough. It felt like an invitation into something maybe a little more nuanced, a little more spectacular. And that was an addictive feeling.
Like, do we need to become a marching band? Is this Johnnyswim 2.0? Because put your hokas on, we're moving on stage.
But it literally changed our lives. We now, like, we're writing a musical. We're nearing, the end of the process of writing it. It's almost done. Tickets are on sale. It's opening in Edinburgh, then to London, then hopefully to New York, and then hopefully you'll see it here in LA on tour or wherever you are on tour. But that journey would not have begun for us. I don't think it would have begun. Maybe it was like a little hope, like when we first saw Hamilton or something like that. But like without seeing David Byrne turn musical performance on its head for us, I don't think we would have this whole other life of songwriting that we have.
Man, I could be part of a band if all I had to do was hit one thing.
Right? Just vibe?
Yeah,
Just vibe?
out.
Give me a triangle. I'll hit it once.
Well, since we're talking about David Byrne, let's just keep talking about it then. So had you seen him before or the Talking Heads before? Where did you come in as a fan there?
I had never seen anything. I had heard Psycho Killer, maybe seen it on YouTube once. I hadn't seen Stop Making Sense, his concert film.
I think you had at that point.
Maybe on tour, maybe we saw it on the bus, maybe
I
when we
feel
were
like
prepping for the show,
we
saw
watch that
it
all the time.
We watch it now all the time on tour, but I don't know that I'd maybe seen it once because that's why I chose that over Father John Misty or something. And that was even crazy, right? Like Stop Making Sense, where there's nothing on stage, you literally see the back, the house lights are on, and then song by song, the band starts getting pieced together, the drummer gets rolled out in the middle of a song, the bass player comes out first, the lights start coming into more of what we consider a concert lighting. Everything changed as it went on. Just that idea of seeing shows differently, especially when you do it professionally.
Yeah, and you do it professionally at how do I say this nicely for us? at a lower budget. You know what I mean? We're not Beyonce. I'm not flying in a car, over a stadium. I'm like in, smaller venues that don't have wings and don't have the ability to do, we don't have the budget to do a lot. And so for us specifically, it was like, how do we do this differently with less money than, all these people who inspire us, basically. Because there's plenty of inspiring things, but you're like, okay, how do I do this on the budget that we have?
Yeah.
And so those two shows specifically for us were like, oh, there's so many ways to look at this creatively, and there's so many ways that we can use projection, or that we can use lighting, or that we can use simple set pieces that go a longer way,
How do we go from performing songs at people to inviting people into something? I think music itself can do that, can be a sort of invitation, but what we saw with these performances with the David Byrne show, which we saw first, was that you can visually create an invitation. You can set a tone without a sound that invites people into your performance.
For the song, it's called She Checks the Weather, that I was talking about, where I was crying in a bathroom stall.
Yay.
That one felt weird to just go up and perform like a normal performance. And so how we've done it on this tour is, we have this kind of like scrim curtain. It was basically like a big shower curtain, but I'm behind there having my own personal moment and then allowing people kind of to look in, which is kind of how the song felt for me to put out. And I don't know if people like it. Like, I don't know if, I've never asked because I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is what feels right for me for this song to perform it. It felt weird to be like, I'm going to go out on stage and sing this really personal song that I might cry to every night, versus let me go in this space where it felt like I wrote the song and where I released the song from, and allow people to view in the shower, allow people, to peek into it. But I don't think we would have ever thought of that as an idea without seeing a lot of these other shows.
Yeah, cool. Should we go to, do you have anything else to say about David Byrne before we move on? Okay, then.
He's like, I could talk about it all night long.
Oh, Gray. I went through a gray suit phase because of that show.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Full on.
Sting and Annie Lennox at Jones Beach in New York, 2004. Jones Beach is such an iconic venue, and when you're there on the right night in the summer and the wind is blowing off the water, there's just nothing more magical. And then to watch, I've been a big fan of both Sting and Annie Lennox my whole life. I grew up listening to them and hearing them because my parents were obsessed with them, but to grow up, to be able to actually just have that on the list of shows that I've seen, that I've been up close and got to watch, I feel like that's something that I'll be like, very excited about. The older I get, the more cool I think that show's gonna get, you know what I mean?
And when you were introduced to them because your parents listened to them?
Yeah, like you listen. My parents were always getting us. That was the main gift in my house as a kid growing up. Like every birthday, every holiday, before you had Spotify or streaming. You had your birthday where you got a stack of CDs if you were lucky. And my dad,
or if you were rich.
I never got a stack of CDs. My dad. Well, it'd be like my main gift would be like CDs.
You got gifts for your birthday?
Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
But my dad would wrap them in foil because he was like he was like, I don't have wrapping paper, like I'll wrap them in foil. And so there was always like a foil like lump under the tree every year, and it was the CDs that you got. And so they would always like, sneak in stuff that they wanted me to like, you know what I mean? So like they had Otis Redding and Joni Mitchell in there. So as a kid, when I was like, I want TLC, they're like, great, well, you got TLC, but you're also getting,
Now you force your kids to listen to TLC.
100%. Well, actually, I don't have to. Like they like listening to it.
Joaquin is like, our oldest is 10 years old, and he makes these little playlists. We have dance parties at the crib at our house, and we'll do silent discos, and he'll make 3 different playlists. One that he says is for the girls. It's Olivia Rodrigo and like the
Taylor Swift
and
the girls in his class all love that one.
Yeah, and then his favorite one, and he does a '90s hip hop playlist by himself, really, and he's really into "Insane in the Membrane," "Insane in the Brain" right now, which is crazy to me. And he'll walk around saying, "You got what I need. You say he's just a friend." They're chilling. The kids are gonna be all right.
Yeah. But yeah, so my parents would sneak in the Police and sneak in Eurythmics, and So it was just kind of like it was always a dream of mine to be able to go see Sting live, see Annie Lennox live. And I remember I lived in New York at the time, and somebody was like, "Oh, they're playing in Jones Beach," and I was like, "I am 100% going." And I don't even remember who I went with. Like, I think
you didn't go with your parents? Your parents? I thought you would go with
no,
your folks.
I think I actually maybe went by myself.
No way.
Like, I have no memory of anybody being with me. I think
That's
I
dope.
literally was just like, I want to go see the show.
Yeah.
And that was
Sometimes
it.
you got to do it.
That's
Yeah.
actually crazy.
Yeah.
I love that. What's
Or
the
maybe,
last?
or maybe it was an ex-boyfriend, but we won't talk.
You went by yourself?
By
Wow.
myself.
Definitely by yourself.
Did you go with an ex-boyfriend?
I don't
think
know.
it's
I'm just
pretty-
thinking. I'm like, I don't remember. I definitely. Yeah, I think.
Because it's kind
I
of
think
crazy.
did.
I don't know that I've ever gone to a concert by myself.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah,
definitely
I've been
by
to a good
myself.
amount.
Yeah.
Especially in the times before, like, say you can't afford, you really like the artist, but you can't afford 2 tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
you're just
true.
like, well,
Yeah, I'm going.
going.
Yeah.
No, that's a
Yeah.
fact.
Everything just be like, especially living in New York or Nashville, like easily would have just been like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the show. Maybe I'll see people there. Maybe I won't.
yeah,
I don't know.
maybe I'll see people I know.
Yeah,
Maybe-
exactly.
Maybe like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nashville, especially, you go down to Cannery Row or whatever.
Yeah, you go to Exit In and you just go stand there and you see people.
So many good shows that Exit into.
I wanted to ask about the influencing your kids. What has been your most successful like influence of your kids? Like other than the stuff they pick up on yourself, have you
Dad
introduced
jokes.
something and been like,
You mean musically,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Musically, what I think is great is that so we have a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and we play a lot of Bill Evans jazz and a lot of Chet Baker, and we just kind of have it on in the house, like it's just on, when we're cooking or in the morning while they're getting ready for school. And the other day I forget where we were, but there was no music, and my daughter looks at me, my 7-year-old, she goes, we need some jazz in here. And I was like, that's my girl. We do need some jazz in here. Like it would enhance the vibe, but I'm like, they're already picking up on just loving that. And then I'll find, I have this like list of like DJs that I go on YouTube, like when I'm working out. And I recently found this one playlist that just has DJs, at different events, like DJing, and it's like chill stuff. It's not like it's like a rave or anything. It's just like at at a wine bar or something, but like a cool wine bar. And I showed it to my son, and the other day he had it on, and he was just sketching with his sketch pad and just like listening to this DJ and watching. And I was like, yeah, you're kind of cool.
I love. There's so much good music these days. I think just kind of like fashion and stuff too with Instagram. Everybody has so much more information that that's available to them. I think musically the same thing happens, right? So there's not a lot of like bad music even on kids shows. Like most of the music, you might not be what you like, but it's not bad. Like it's not bad music.
I mean, there is bad. You just haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's keep it out of the algorithm.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
yeah.
true. I just like that my girls are really into this Disney TV movie thing called Zombies, and it's it's a thing. It's not something I would probably put on and watch as a 42-year-old grown man, right? But this girl discovers why her hair's white or whatever, and they want to listen to music all the time. And today, actually, dropping our daughter off at preschool, she was playing her favorite songs from Zombies, and I was like, this slaps. Like, this is actually like, if I wrote this, I'd be real proud of myself. I'd be like, this is dope. This is really good. So I think all that to say is one of the things that I'd like to think we passed on some good musical taste. Like they're not drawn to stuff that I'm like embarrassed to have on in the car.
Yeah.
Ever.
Another fun one for me is I grew up, like I said, Otis Redding. My dad slipped that CD and he took me to see Alvin Ailey dancers dance to the best of Otis Redding one year at a theater, and I was like obsessed. He also slipped in Sam Cooke. So Sam Cooke was on at our house a lot when I was growing up. And it became the vinyl record that we would get people whenever they would move into a new house. So if our friends were having a housewarming party, we would get them the best of Sam Cooke on vinyl, because it just feels warm. It feels like putting cookies in the oven. Most of the songs. His voice is so good and so warm, and it's just classic. And so we always have it in our house, and we always would give it to other people. And then we put a record player in our son's room when he got his own room, and we just kind of handpicked a few of, probably a big stack, but just grabbed whatever from our main section, our main record collection, and just put it in his room that he could kind of go through. And he chose that one, and then he would listen to it every single night, probably for 3 years.
Yeah.
I would say for 3 solid years, every
Until
night.
the record player stopped working,
And then
it would
the
get
record-
stuck
yeah.
on, she was on it, she was
Yeah.
on it, she was on it. It would get
And so
stuck.
now he has like a digital, thing that he listens to. But every night I'd go in and I'd be like, this kid, anytime Sam Cooke comes on, he's like, oh, I love Sam Cooke. And every adult goes, you know Sam Cooke.
It's like a party trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, and he knows all the words. I'm like, yeah, he listens to it every night in bed. But that was completely his own doing. He just chose it and, gravitated towards it. So
That's cute. My kid just discovered, I don't know how,
Yeah.
Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally,
Let's go.
me and my son were, I was like, oh, you would love this song. And he was like, dun, 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 dun. And I was like, oh, you know it good. He's like, yeah, Mom, obviously. I was like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah, he just listened
So
to it over
good.
and I have a 6-year-old. He
Yeah.
listened to it over and over again. He loves singing that part, like, no, 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 no. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
so good, yeah.
Should we move on to Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Wembley Stadium, London, England, 1988. He wanted me to talk about
This is
one.
a short story, but it's crazy. Like, how many people do you know in life that were at Michael Jackson bad tour at Wembley Stadium? Like,
But I
it's a
was
crazy
like
thing.
5, so I don't remember
Okay.
that much.
but what you do remember is an incredible story.
But what I do remember is this.
Okay.
My parents took us to Wembley Stadium. I was the youngest of 3 girls. My parents took us. I think my cousin was also there, my older cousin. We got to go backstage and meet Michael. And he said to my sister and I, she's a year and a half older, so she would have been closer to 7. Do you want to come dance on stage with me during the encore? And of course, we're like, oh my gosh, yes. You know, we say yes.
Bad tour.
Bad tour. We go to our seats. I'm 5.5. I fall asleep. Like pretty instantaneously because it's way past my bedtime, right? So
sure.
I'm on my dad's lap, completely asleep. And I remember Michael's bodyguard coming and shaking my dad's arm, shaking my dad, getting my dad's attention. My dad shakes me awake. And I see him and he goes, it's time to go on stage. And I look at him like, I'm sleeping. Like, I don't care. I'm not dancing. I'm sleeping. So I just go immediately back to sleep. My sister gets up and goes. I wake up in water and I'm on concrete in a puddle. And my dad is like laying next to me. He's slipped and fallen. It started to rain at Wembley Stadium. He slips, he falls, he drops me in a puddle. I wake up in the puddle like, what the heck happened? My dad's like, oh my gosh. He's like trying to get me up. He's trying to get himself up. And I see the Jumbotron in the distance and my sister is just like getting it. Like she's just fully like going hardcore dancing with Michael Jackson by herself. And in that moment I realized I've made a poor choice. I have chosen sleep over something that I probably should have done. And so my sister gets to be the one that tells the story of dancing on stage with Michael Jackson, and I get to be the one who tells the story of watching her sister dance on stage with Michael Jackson. So that's why it's not that great of a story.
That
Because
story's amazing. Are you kidding
I'm like,
me?
I didn't even do it, and I don't remember the show at all because I
it's
slept
better.
through the entire show.
I mean, if you're like, and then I went on stage and danced with Michael Jackson, that's fine. I woke up in a puddle and saw my sister dancing with Michael Jackson is objectively a better story.
And what was even more heartbreaking was that they gave her the little, like, squishy orange earplugs because it was so super loud on stage. And for weeks, she would put them next to her bed and she would not allow me to touch them. And she would put them in her ear every so often and be like, Michael gave me these.
Your sister might still have them.
She might still have them. And I was like, can I just try it? Can I just put them in my ears? And she was like, no, that's disgusting. There's earwax. And I was like, I didn't dance with him. I woke up in a puddle and I didn't get the earplugs.
That's
And
the
that's
best story
the
of the whole
Michael
day.
Jackson story.
The details are really good, though.
I remember
Yeah.
a lot of those details.
You know?
It was a
I wanna
very,
see somebody
very
make that like
formative
an
memory.
animated short one day.
Exactly.
And listen, we're not going to get your sister here to.
I know.
to
I
dance
could
with us.
FaceTime her. She'd be like, yeah, man, you made a bad choice.
Have you taken your 5-year-old to any shows yet?
Well, we've opened for people or we've played festivals. And so we take them, to shows. But she doesn't really care so much. Even for our show, she's kind of like good after the first
She has
song.
a couple songs she wants to hear, and so she asks us to put it earlier in the set so that she can hear it and then
Yeah.
leave. There's songs that get particularly good like crowd responses through the song. Those are the ones she really likes.
Yeah, but
That's
other
the
than
trouble
that,
with us.
she's like, she doesn't really care. I'm trying to think of, our son is the one that we would have taken to a bunch of shows, but
Our
but I
son, one
think-
time we were playing in Indianapolis, and we were playing at the Egyptian, which is in another kind of theater. It's the basement theater, and the bigger theater's upstairs. And Sesame Street Live was upstairs during the day, and we had just pulled into Indianapolis. Our tour manager texts us like, "Hey, if you want to take Joaquin, we got tickets for him. The theater has tickets for him waiting. If you want to take him." At this point, he was 2 or whatever.
Not even. I think he was like
Little.
barely 1.
And so we come in, and halfway through the show, we watch Sesame Street Live. He loves it. And our dressing room's right on the same hallway as all the characters from Sesame Street. So we're like, Joaquin, come on, let's go see all of them backstage. Like, we're going to choose in a Big Bird backstage. I'm not thinking this through. There's like a 35-year-old dude smoking a cigarette. But we get down there, and they see us, and they go, hey. And then they see him, and they're like, no. Like, security's like, no, you can't bring him back here. I was like, oh, sorry, he can't come. Like, no, like, it really messed with his head to see, like, them with their heads off.
You're like, true, good point.
I was like, I never thought of that. That was a really bad idea. We're gonna go back to the bus. Terrible.
Don't mess with the magic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've ever seen a character on Hollywood Boulevard,
Right, exactly.
it's the same sort of experience.
They're Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're like,
What's he
what?
doing?
Thank you.
Joaquin is a little too comfortable on stage now. We did a Christmas tour a couple years ago where the kids were with us and we brought them out on stage and we let the girls introduce themselves. What's your name? Paloma. Everybody's like, oh, hi, Paloma. People are screaming. Can you tell me your name? I'm Luna. Oh, hi, Luna. Da, da, da. Joaquin, would you like to tell them to our son? Would you like to tell them your name? He goes, they know my name.
And we're like, oh no.
And everybody kind
here
of
we
giggles,
go.
and one person in the back goes, yeah, Joaquin! And he grabs the mic from him and he goes, see?
Yeah, so he's barred from stage now.
Oh, he always wants to tell jokes.
Yeah.
He's got his own stage presence already.
Big time. And it's strong. It is strong.
Is he in a band yet?
He actually told me yesterday that he played saxophone this year at school, and he told me the band name, and I can't remember what his jazz band name was. Do you remember what it was?
At all. No.
I'll come back to it. We'll circle back.
But he started they do these performances at school where the whole grade will do a performance for the whole school. And so he's in 4th grade last year, and the 4th grade performance, kids could pair up and do stuff. They could do multimedia, they could sing a song, they could do dance, whatever. Joaquin wanted to do stand-up comedy by himself.
Oh, well.
And we didn't even know about it. I won't tell the whole story.
No.
We didn't even know about it until the teacher, I was picking him up from school, was like, hey, Joaquin's doing great with his stand-up routine for tomorrow. I was like, what? And he had like a whole stand-up routine that was really good.
I remembered his band name. It was called Just the Five of Us.
Oh.
And he likes to say,
Can I do it?
Yes.
I love this bit so much. He goes, we're just the 5 of us. And we open the show with, just the 5 of us. We can make it if we try. Just the 5 of us. You and you and you and you and I. That's his bit.
We have one show left on your list. Leon at Sundance.
Oh, yeah. Leon at Sundance, in Park City, Utah, 2020. All right, so this wasn't really a concert. We've all done this. Everybody, performers in the industry, we all have done this. You go to Sundance, or you go to something, you're playing some corporate event, and it's not about you. They're there to schmooze, they're there to whatever. At
a free
Sundance, they're trying to
meal,
they're trying to get their film financed, they're trying to get whatever.
and at this point too, I'll say I had a newborn, so I was particularly like, I have to go nurse. You know
if
what
y'all
I mean?
don't want to see me, I'm just
Like
gonna
we're gonna get through the set, and then I gotta go nurse. You know, my brain's already like.
And it's
thinking
fine.
that.
It's not like a rude audience. It's just
No.
not a concert. You know what I mean?
They
So
didn't
it's-
buy tickets specifically to see you.
Exactly.
Of
They're not
course.
there for you.
No,
That's
they're
fine.
they're literally
Totally
there to
fine.
schmooze
Yeah.
and your background noise. You know.
Yeah. And so Leon played after us. And she starts singing. And the room is talking. And it was like the most, like, I didn't care when it was us. This girl is so amazing. Like, don't listen to us, that's fine. But y'all got it. Are you hearing this?
Yeah.
How do you still try to get
The whole band stayed. I stayed. I was like, baby can have formula. No, not really. But like, I was like, I will go nurse. But like, we have to all take a
And
moment.
so we
it was
became her
amazing.
cheering section. We were
Yeah.
screaming for every note, every long-held note, every song that hit, the end of every song, we're screaming.
Actively saving, downloading everything that she sings. What's this song called? Okay, actively
And it
downloading.
was just her and a keyboard player putting on like the performance of a lifetime. It was like seeing magic. It was like seeing magic, like actually.
But I think you know, especially playing festivals and stuff, you hear a lot of new artists and you go to shows and a lot of them are so great. But there's the times that where you go, oh, I want to listen to this when I'm cooking dinner, while I'm going for a run. Like this is what
I
I
need this
want
music
to
to be a part
listen
of my
to,
life.
right? And that was definitely one where we all, like the entire band, everybody that was there was like gravitated, grabbed it. She's now ours. You know, we have adopted her into our musical like life.
So what do you have coming up for you besides the musical that you're talking about?
Yeah, we got a musical. If you want to come to Scotland and come see it in Edinburgh, please do.
Yep.
If you want to see it in London later, please do. Look out for One Day, hopefully coming to Broadway as well. Musical, album's out. We're about to release, what's it called? Deluxe version. We're about to release a deluxe version of When the War's Over with at least 2 new songs, but I'm shooting for 4 new songs. And I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it. Hannah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we have a song we wrote with Anthony Ramos from Hamilton and from his own amazing movie star career and artistry.
Transformers, ever heard of it?
Yeah. He's an
Twisters.
actor, an amazing singer, stage actor and singer. The dude's one of the best in the world at everything he does, literally. And we have a song that we wrote with him that we have collaborated on that's going to come out with the deluxe version of the album called Strangers. And I think it's Fantastic.
And then we go back on the road. And so the second leg of the When the War is Over tour starts actually here in Los Angeles on September
Fonda.
25th.
We're at the Fonda, September 25th. Sorry, I spoke over that.
And then we will, yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
And we'll be touring through October all over this fine United States.
And we got another Christmas tour. We always do the Christmas tours because
Yeah.
they're just fun and festive.
Do you play strictly Christmas songs for the
No.
Christmas tour?
No, we throw
We
in a
tried
Hanukkah
to.
number.
We did
What?
throw a Hanukkah number in. We tried to. There's this famous to us story. We played, what's the club? Bowery Ballroom in New York City. And back in the day, it's less so now, but back in the day, our shows in New York were rowdy. Like, literally, like, I remember one show at the Bowery Ballroom, might have been this one. A party bus pulled up where all these people have been pre-partying to come to our show. We sing love songs, so I don't know, like, where these ideas came from, but it happened consistently in New York. So people were just rowdy and drunk and, like, partying, and it was a Christmas show. And so we're playing, like, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Song ends, smattering of applause, silence, and then one guy in the back, play the jams!
Yeah.
And so
And
ever
I was
since
like,
the
I mean, it's a Christmas show. I don't know, man.
ever since the legendary play the jams moment
Yeah.
at the Bowery Ballroom in New York City, we do not only play Christmas songs now. We also play the jams.
Well, that's
Yeah.
nice that you honor those requests.
Try.
Are you going to any shows? Granted, you have a busy tour, but any shows coming up as fans?
We're going to see a lot of stage shows.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of stage shows because the next like month and a half is musical fine tuning, and so that's most of our nights will be doing that. I really want to see Olivia Dean. She's the top of my list for people I want to see this year.
I love this whole like reunion stuff that's happening, like all the early 2000s rock stuff that's happening. I don't know which one I want to go see, but I mean even like the Blink shows that have been happening that are all like super hype. Like I just want to be a part of some of those. I feel like the ska thing has to come back at some point.
Ska's coming back a little. Do you know the Dance Hall Crashers?
Uh-uh.
They're a ska band. They're playing Warped Tour, and then I got tickets to them on a sideshow too.
Let's go.
Very
Fun,
ska,
yeah.
Like I want to go to some of those. I
Yeah.
want to go to like a Warped Tour show. I want to see some of those for sure.
You'll
Who else do
probably
we-
be on tour for that. So
Yes.
I know. This is the problem. You know, that's why I think so many of our, favorite shows, a lot of them are like while we're on on tour, because you go, who's playing in the city, and then you get to actually
You're
go
free,
see.
yeah.
Or you start traveling around at these venues and you see the posters for people that are coming, and you go, oh, they're here in 2 nights and we're back through. So you actually get to see shows.
yeah, a lot of people's memories are like that. They're just like, I walked by and found out this
Yeah.
person was playing, and it was the
Yeah.
best night of my life.
100%.
Yeah.
You never-
100%. And when we're on tour, we have like a built-in nanny all the time. And mommy stays up late. And so it's even
true.
more reason that I'm like, oh, I can stay up that late and
Yeah.
go see a show. Because I'm going to be honest, when I'm here, I'm like, ooh, bedtime's 9:30. So,
We can go see the opening band.
yeah,
and
my
then we
kids
leave.
have to be up and breakfast has to be made at 7 a.m. So, LOL, it never is.
I mean, it should be, but it
Should be,
ain't.
but it's not.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
Yes,
today.
thank you for
Thanks
having
us
us.
and letting us
Back.
ramble. And
Yeah,
ramble
anytime.
And ramble.
Thank you.
We drank a lot of coffee and it showed.
Can
And
you
I
tell me we drank coffee? We
appreciate,
drank a lot of coffee.
appreciate you dealing with us.